Hello friends, once again welcome to Global Videos. Today I have a really interesting video for you, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use different skins on different portraits. For example, if you want to do some editing with different type of skin on different for example sketches. So I have also tried to show you how you can make a proper selection using pen tool, and how to make an inverse selection, for example, if you are working on multiple skins or multiple layers in one project. So this video is going to be quite interesting and something really new to learn. So just keep the whole videos and learn how I did finish the project. Before we go to video, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel and also press the bell notification button so you can get all the notifications for our upcoming video. So let's go. So friends, as you can see on the screen that I have opened a project, and now I have to open another portrait, for example, which I can use for my project. As you can see that I have opened a ceramic kettle, and you can see that I have to flip it horizontal to change its direction. Basically you can work on any direction portrait, but I will prefer to do it like straight. For example, now I have to make a selection using a pen tool. As you can see in the screen that I have used the pen tool, and I'm now going to make the selection for the edges. Basically we don't need this background, and we are going to work on a different background, for example, and different layer. So that's why for right now we need just the part of portrait which we are going to use over there. And we can also use, for example, quick selection tool over here, but the part of picture, for example, which is similar to the background color, so that part will be removed from the selection. So that's why I will suggest you to use only pen selection tool. This is the best selection tool I have experienced. Basically you have no danger of missed edges, for example, if you are going to make any selection. And this is the proper way, and somehow if something is missing in the selection, you can always go back or make a new selection for that. So basically from me, I will suggest you to use the pen tool to make the selection. As you can see in the screen that I have made a selection using the edges only, for example, and the part of this portrait which is required for the project, and I am not including the background or any other stuff from this project. And you can see that the selection of the picture is according to the area what I required. And now as you can see that I have marked all the edges of the picture. Just right click and then go to make selection and just press OK. So this has selected the picture, and I will do Control C to copy the picture. So simply just do Control C, and now here in project press Control V to paste it over here. And now you can see that I have moved that picture into another background, and now I have to open another picture, and you can see that it is one orange and one slice orange on the screen. So I will make a selection using quick selection tool for the orange. I will copy it using Control C, and I will just simply paste it here using Control V. So I will paste it now, and you can see that the size of this picture is larger than the picture or the project I'm working on. So you can simply press Control T, transformation tool again, to increase or decrease the size of the picture. As you can see, now I go to opacity, and you have to decrease the opacity so that you can see that if the picture what you are applying its size, how does it affects or how big is it. And then you can make Control T again for transformation, and distort tool, you can use web tool, and you can use like flip tool, any of the tool what is required. So you can see in the screen I am working now on the web tool to move the edges according to the project and to cover all of the picture. So I am simply using the web tool, and now you can see that I am adjusting the edges of the picture. as you can see in the screen. So this is simply like you will go in transformation using Control T, and then you can use the further subtools. Now you can see that some edges from the downside, they are left and they are not included in that, and I will try to use web tool to adjust the further layers, further edges in the picture. You can see that I have adjusted a little bit, but something is still left. So basically we don't need this part of the picture, so I will use simply eraser tool. I will just remove this part of the picture, because using web tool, distort tool, this part of the picture is not adjustable, for example, or you can make a simple small selection to adjust it, but still this is the better way, easiest way to use simply eraser tool and to remove this part of the picture what we are not using in our project. As you can see in the screen, this is simple eraser tool what I am using, and use again web tool, for example, to change the size of the implemented layer. You can see that the picture is completely same, and now I have to change the opacity again to 100. So you can see that the part of the picture which we have implemented on this picture, it's according to our requirement, and further the edges which are broken, you can just remove them using eraser tool. As you can see on the screen, I am doing that. And if any edge is broken more, or you remove it more, so you can just simply do Ctrl Z to undo this. So this is quite simple way to work, but you need to just learn it. So now you can see that the tape and the last corner of this kettle, it's still with the background color, as you can see. Now I will use pen tool again to make another selection. As you can see on the screen that I am using pen tool and making the selection according to the requirement. So you can also use lasso tool to make selection, for example, or quick selection tool, but I will still prefer and suggest you to use pen tool, because this is the best tool to make any selection according to your requirement and your wish. As you can see that the corners which are round, for example, I have made a selection according to my requirement, and there is no part of the picture which is, for example, extra, which has been including in this picture. So basically the best tool so far I have experienced is pen tool to make any selection. So now I have marked all the edges, just right click and make selection. So you can see that on the screen, it will make selection now. Yeah, it's done. So now I will make another selection using lasso tool from this layer of the orange, and Control C simply to make a copy. I will paste it again here, as you can see on the screen that I have pasted it now, and you can see that the selection has gone. So I have to go again to select and inverse and deselect, and then now I have to go again there and make inverse selection and use eraser tool to simply remove the not required part of this picture. So now on the tape, so we have to make again selection using this same pen tool. You can see in the screen. I will use it again and mark only the edges of this tape what are required, for example, for our project. And so it's simply and quite good using selection. For example, as you can see in the screen that there is no extra edges again added into this part of the picture. So I have marked almost all the edges what were required for this picture, and you can simply see that mark has been complete. Now right click again, for example, when you are done with marking, and just simply make selection again. As you can see, selection has been made. So Control V to paste the layer again, and go to select again and reselect, because we need the background, and then select again and then inverse. So this will select only the part of picture which we are required, and I used eraser tool, simple eraser tool, to remove the unwanted part of the picture. So you can see that I am having different layers here on the screen, and all the part of this kettle has been covered with the orange layer. So we have still to do some different stuff and implement different layers, And now we will go to the sliced part of the picture. As you can see on the screen, there are two, one whole orange and one sliced part. So I will use again the tool, for example, to pen tool to make a selection, but this time I'm going to use this sliced part of the picture, but I'm still using the same pen tool to circle the layer, for example. And you can see in the screen I am almost done with marking. When the marking is finished, so just simply I need to use copy tool, control C I will use to copy it. So basically I'm trying to tell you this shortcut so that it will be easier for you if you want to do this work yourself. I did make a copy of that layer, for example. Now I will do simply paste here using control V. As you can see in the screen that I will do it now. So you can see this layer is a little bit larger as well. Simply use control T to make transformation and resize this part of the layer. So I will drag the layer to the top, as you have seen in the picture, in the video, that I have dragged it up. Now I will use control T again to make a transformation and change the size. So here in this transformation tool you can use distort tool, you can use warp tool according to your requirement. For example, as you can see that I am still resizing the picture as it has been resized, so I will change the direction and placement of the picture. So for example, you can see in screen there is some edges left on the left side, for example from background. So I just use magic eraser tool to just remove these extra edges in one click. As you can see that there is no extra edge or extra part of the background attached to this picture. So I will just now work on placement. Simply control T again to transform it, and now I have also decreased its size, and then right click and use distort tool, for example, to change its placement. This is basically, if you will see that it looks really unreal to work how it works, but basically this is a quite useful tool of Adobe Photoshop. This helps us to place different stuff in a different order, as you can see in the screen how it was. And now you can see that it looks really realistic. And now I will use change in brush and eraser tool, for example, to remove all the unwanted part of the layer. As you can see in the screen that I have removed the lower part of the layer, so that the emplaced layer, it is merged basically with the main layer. So you can see in the screen that it looks all together one layer, but if you go on the right in the layers, you will notice that there are different layers we are working on. When the work is done, this part of the these layers, they don't see like it has been added, and it looks totally natural. As you can see in the screen, emplacement has been done. For example, I have also placed the slice part of the layer to this picture. And now, for example, we have to go to the other picture again, and you can also place the upper layer, for example. So I will show you further. So now you can see that I need to make another selection, and I will use the upper tip part of the picture. So you can simply use lasso tool or pen tool, but I still suggest to use pen tool so that you can make selection for the edges according to your requirement, or according to your project, what type of selection you want to make. So I'm just simply marking the picture and then right click and then make selection using pen tool again, but you can still do it as quick tool. So I did copied it again. I already told you the command for copying, and now I have pasted that picture over here, and there is some part of background added to this picture. I removed that using magic eraser tool. Now you can see that the picture is over there. I have to flip it now because I want to use it other way down. So you can simply go and use flip horizontal. This all process you can do in transformation tool, what I am using here. So its shortcut is Control T. And if you don't know how to work with transformation tool, I have earlier made a video, so go and check that video to learn the proper transformation process. Here you can resize the picture, you can resize the edges, you can flip the picture in different angles. So that's a very useful way to make any video or any picture, for example, or any project. As you can see in the screen that I have changed the size of this layer what I pasted recently. I have changed its direction what I pasted recently. So now I am using a pen tool to make another layer on it. For example, you can see in the screen that I have used pen tool. I am making some marking. For example, this is a quite interesting thing to learn. When you have done according to your requirement, right click on it and then use stroke path. When you will do stroke path, this will make a background shadow of the selection. You can see on the screen that it has made a white shadow, but you can still change it to black. For example, as you can see on the screen that I am making another selection, I am making another marking, and I pulled it to down and then I pointed another one. So simply I will go over again, for example, right click and then stroke path, and you will see that it will be black this time. When you are done with that, for example, just simply you will see that this time the color of this line, it would be black. So basically you can always go in color adjustment to make any selection and using different colors. As you can see that if you have missed something, for example, or if you want to go to any layer, for example, which you want to work previously, or if you are on a project, for example, which is not done according to your requirement, you can always go in history tool and then make selection. Because the brush tool what I was using, it was thick enough. For example, its shadow was thick enough, so that's why I'm going to brush again and resized its size. And now you can see that on the screen that the shadow what will be made this time, its size will be different than the other one. You can see on the screen, and it looks quite nice now. So simply I will make the marking again on the screen, as you can see, and this time I need a darker one. So basically just change the color manipulation, and you can see again, and stroke path, you can see on the screen that it has made black shadow this time for the selection, for the marking. But before we that, I think we should change the background. So for that you can go over the picture in the right side and use then gradient tool, for example, and I will select the orange inside merge tool for this, and pattern for this. And you can see that I have a pattern on the screen. Here you can adjust the angles as shown on the screen, for example, and you can see that you can make it's in different shapes also, and you can get inner glow, outer glow, or you can adjust it with the angles basically. And you can see that I have selected a really interesting color pattern. So now this part of the picture, it is from when I made selection, so it was included from there. Basically I want to remove it, but if it's not removed, then I am working on a layer which is not included, so I have to include a different layer, for example. So basically it was in the background, so I need to select the layer 1. For example, I have select layer 1 and eraser tool, and you can see it is removed now. And again I will go on the other side. For example, you can see it, there is another a little bit edge of the background picture which I have also removed with the magic eraser tool. You can use simple eraser tool also. So now use selection tool and make a rectangular selection, for example, as you can see on the screen that I am making. So you can fill it with colors using simply brush tool and color selection. You can always invert the colors and choose any type of color which you want from a color pattern. You can always fill it and go over and over again to get a specific colors hardness, for example. As you can see in the screen that I am adjusting the color, and you can also use the brush tool, resize the brush from there, and if you want to have hardness, you can change it also, and angle of the brush. As you can see in the screen that I am filling it up, but I am just showing you this. I am going to change it later, so this is just a demo to show you that, for example, if you want to make a tag, then how you can make selection for it, how you can move it, and how you can fill it with color. And for example, if there is something what you want to remove, so just simply go in Control Z, just do it undo. So I am making now another selection and moving it to another place, for example, and you can see on the screen that I have selected again the brush tool, and now this time I'm going to choose the different colors on it on the screen. As you can see that I have used the color, and now I have to pick up a specific color for that, so that when I am filling it, then there will be a specific color background, so that I can write something on it, for example, for making a tag. So first of all, if you are done it, just go over and over again. If the hardness or if the smoothness of the color is not enough, so just go simply over and over again. And as you can see on the screen that its color is quite good, so I'm just going to remove the edges using simply eraser tool. So this is going to make the tag a little bit creative. So this is the purpose of using that tag. So Control T now, just T to put some text in it. So for example, you can choose the color setting also here, what type of color you want to have for this text. And simply this you can always adjust the color of the text also. So usually when you are using this text tool, so you can edit it there. So as you can see there, I have another smoke picture with me. So basically we need to put the smoke picture also over here in this picture, so that you can see the smoke flame coming out of the kettle. So just I am using again transformation tool using Control T to resize this smoke, so that I can use only on the tap of this kettle, so that this kettle looks realistic a little bit more by using this type of picture and putting this type of picture on it, as you can see in the screen. So I will now remove this background using magic eraser tool, and you can also just leave it if you want, because now that we are going to use another option in it. So I have first removed using eraser tool, magic eraser tool. Now go where you see normal, so make a selection. You can see that how I did in the picture. So that background is completely removed, and you only see the brighter part of the smoke, and the darker side is removed from this picture. So now we need to put some cookies in this picture. As you can see, I have opened a picture. So basically it's really important to make a good selection. You can use any selection tool. For example, here if you can use pen tool, it can also make selection, but it would not be proper if you don't go slowly and properly through it. So for this picture I can also use quick selection tool, so which is a quite useful tool here, because the background color is not merged with cookies. So I will just simply use quick selection tool to make a quick selection, and Control C to make a copy. And now I need to make Control V here to simply paste it over here, but this is pasted on the background. So I will just drag this layer to front, so that you can see that the cookies are shown in the front. You can always use Control T transformation tool to resize this, and now as you can see on the screen that cookies are being placed left side, just using simply copy and paste tool, and then transformation tool. Now everything is good in this picture, so a little bit we need to increase the darkness in this picture so that it looks a little bit more realistic. As you can see in the screen that, for example, we are going in color adjustment, and then you can see that the levels. So if you increase it a little bit, increase the darkness, so it looks more attractive and more useful. So as you can see that the project has been finished, and this was the whole process how I finished this project. So friends, I hope you have liked the video, so please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet, and for more interesting videos keep watching Global Videos. Thank you very much.